Tonight on our front, President Acquah makes fresh moves to halt organized labor's impending nationwide strike. But here in Accra, protesters have taken to the streets, launching a 3-day demonstration demanding the release of 53 Democracy Hub members arrested during an anti-Galamsey protest. The protest not only was to push for their colleagues' freedom, but also to highlight the devastating environmental and health impacts of illegal mining. In a dramatic twist, human rights lawyer and member of parliament for Medina, Francis Xavier Susu, has dragged the Attorney General and the IGP to the Human Rights Court. He is seeking to enforce the protesters' right to freedom of movement, protest, personal liberty, and also all of these under the Constitution, making sure that we deal with the most important part. We will dive into these developments and what they mean for Ghana's fight against illegal mining. Joining me tonight for a conversation on the possible ways forward in dealing with this, perhaps menace that's become entrenched on our hands, is a member of parliament for the people's constituency of Subin in the Ashanti region. And he used to be a member of the Lands, and he used to be Lands and Natural Resources, right? But it's Lands and Forestry now, committee in parliament. You know him, Eugene Boachientri. Honorable, you are welcome to our front.
Thank you very much, Raymond.
I hope you are doing well.
I'm very, very well. I'm doing well. I can't complain.
When you were a deputy minister, we used to have consistent engagements. When you left that position, you abandoned me completely.
Well, less work for me now, and I would say less stress. But all in all, we're still working and serving our mother Ghana, and you have me here tonight.
Yes. I should be also joined on Zoom by a former Lands and Natural Resources Minister and also lawyer Inusa Fuseni, pretty much before the conversation out. But when he joins me, I should go through it with him through the very suit that has been filed against the IGP and the Attorney General. But let's start this conversation from the beginning, because we are seeking solutions. As the president, we are told earlier today, engage some leaders of organized labor, asking for more time and asking them to understand why he's doing what he's doing now when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. Honorable, first and foremost, the executive president of the Republic of Ghana, it is in his bosom that all mineral rights are vested, and that he is doing so, holding that in trust for the people of this republic. That is true, right? Precisely the case. And let us avert our minds to Article 257 of the National Constitution, which is titled Public Lands. Public lands and other public property. And 2571 says, all public lands in Ghana shall be vested in the President on behalf of and in trust for the people of Ghana. And reading down, if you go to, let's go to 2572. For the purposes of this article and subject to clause 3 of this article, public lands includes any land which immediately before the coming into force of this constitution was vested in the government of Ghana on behalf of and in trust for the people of Ghana for the public service of Ghana and any other land acquired in the public interest for the purposes of the government of Ghana before, on, or after that date. Then if you go to 2576 says, every mineral in its natural state, under or upon any land in Ghana, rivers, streams, water courses throughout Ghana, the exclusive economic zone, and any area covered by the territorial sea or continental shelf is the property of the Republic of Ghana and shall be vested in the President on behalf of and in trust for the people of Ghana. This is where I want us to start the discussion. So clearly, our lands are vested in the President on behalf of and for the trust of the people of Ghana, and so are the mineral resources. Now, why are we here? Why are we here today? We are here today because looking at, Galamsey has been with us, like I rightly told you, since 1894. Centuries.
Yes, centuries ago, when it started in the mining town of Prestia in the Western region. I remember as a young man growing up in Acquah, preparing for my common entrance in the early 80s. Galamsey was still with us, in the Bonsa forest, around that area. So it's not a new thing. But why has it taken the dimension that it's taken now? Clearly, we have to look at our laws again. I want us to avert our mind to, 1 minute, sorry.
Are you referring to the LI?
Yes, the LI 2462. Yes. I also want to read it for the benefit of our viewers, then we can then start a discussion from there. It says the environmental protection in brackets, mining in forest reserves, regulations 2022, LI 2462, enacted on June 23, 2022, allows mining in forest reserves. It derives its alleged authority from Section 62(1) of the Environmental Protection Agency Act 1994, Act 490, that empowers the minister responsible for the environment to make regulations generally for, among other things, giving effect to the Environmental Protection Agency 1994 490. LR, that's Legislative Instrument 2462, is specifically designed to address the environmental aspects of mining activities within forest reserves. Prior to the enactment of LI 2462, the government's policy on mining in forest reserves was contradictory. Whereas the National Land Policy bans mining in forest reserves.
Okay.
The environmental guidelines and forest and wildlife policy imply that mining is permitted in forest reserves within limits. LI 2462 now appears to permit mining in all forest reserves in Ghana, provided the procedures specified in the LI are complied with. So now let's go to 2. It says under LI 2462, mining licenses may be granted in forest reserves with the exception of certain prohibited zones encompassing globally significant biodiversity areas, protected provenance zones, and cultural sites, albeit with exceptions. To embark on mining activities in forest reserves, various permits are required. Let's leave it there. Okay. Come back to what is happening now.
So basically you are saying that it is this LI that opened up the forest.
Yes, because according to the LI, it says that before the enactment of this particular LI, the forest reserves were a no-go area across the country, right?
I see.
But this LI has opened it up to a certain extent.
It is this same LI that organized labor is demanding should be repealed of a sort. So, yeah, we'll come to that, but give me a second. Let me explore that latest development of a suit that's been filed. And joining me on Zoom now is lawyer Inisa Fuseni. He's a former minister in the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry too. Now, please help us understand this. This is a suit by 31 or so of the people that have been arrested and are on remand, as we understand that. They are seeking to enforce, enforcing the fundamental human rights of these applicants to freedom of movement, right to protest and demonstrate, right to personal liberty, respect for human dignity, right to freedom of expression, right against unlawful and arbitrary arrest, detention and malicious prosecution, right to legal representation, and the right to bail pending trial. You understand the law. What do these all demands they are making mean? What do this specific order they are seeking, what does it mean? Honorable.
Thank you so very much for having me on this program, and let me say good evening to my friend and colleague, Eugene.
Hello, Mr.
Well, thank you. Now, the issue is some demonstrators were arrested a couple of days ago on the pretext of interfering with the provision of essential services at the 37 roundabout. They have been remanded into prison and police custody. Most of us feel that the remand into prison custody was and is still a travesty of justice because the crime for which they were arrested are misdemeanors. And even if you balance it against the constitutional right to demonstrate
who seem to have a connection problem to the Honorable Inisa Fusini there. Yes, it's working perfectly now, yes.
There's really no reason why they should be arrested. If you look at the constitutional right to free movement and then a right to demonstrate, and so that is why the demonstrators are going to court to assert these rights, and for the court to declare those rights haven't been violated.
Are they asking that they be made to go free?
Oh, they're not. They are not so asking. They are saying that those rights have been violated. And for the court to pronounce that those rights have been violated, the right to demonstrate, the right to assembly, the right to manifest have been violated. And having been violated, it is for the court, and that's the High Court under Chapter 5 of the Constitution to so pronounce. And if that is pronounced, they can then file consequential actions to see what remedies they can get against the state.
What impact does this case have on the case they are dealing with at the Circuit Court?
Well, the case they are dealing with at the Circuit Court is principally the prosecution of an offense. They have been charged with various degrees of offenses, and then they have been remanded into prison custody. They are enjoined to appear on another day. We do not, and I do not, and the lawyers for protest defense are not really excited and enthused about the decision of the court to remand them to prison custody or police custody. And so the filing processes to appeal the decision of the court to remand them into custody. And that case is separate and distinct from the suit filed for the declaration of those of the violations perpetrated against them.
So now this suit is actually dragging the AG, and of course it cites the AG and also the police as respondents in this case. Why? Because the police is the one that arrested them, isn't it?
Well, but Article 88 makes the police, the AG, responsible for all criminal and civil cases against the state.
Now, I ask this question because when it is declared that their rights have been violated, is it also a determined order they are asking for that they should be let go?
Well, they cannot ask for that order. That declaration is the first step.
Okay.
So if the court so declares that their arrest and incarceration pending trial is unlawful, then they are entitled to certain reliefs, and those reliefs they can only file an action in court to seek those reliefs.
I see there they want an order directed at the respondents to pay the applicants compensation for unlawful and unwarranted breach of the applicant's fundamental human rights.
Yes. So that order. So when they get that order, they can then file processes in court to effectuate that order.
Now, effectively, what people are saying is that today there was also another demonstration in play. But do you think on its own, without prejudicing the original case here, is this a step in the right direction?
I think so. I think for our democracy, I say injustice everywhere is a threat to our collective humanity. And so, I mean, if we allow such an injustice to be perpetrated against citizens of this country, then that becomes a threat to our democracy. It becomes a threat to the people of this country, and relating that empowers the executive to still trample on the rights of the people of this country. And that's why we must all stand up against such acts of terror. Now, why are the people demonstrating? I'm listening to Eugene. They have been demonstrating because they think that the government's handling of the illegal mining menace in this country has been not at all up to the bar that governments everywhere fighting illegal activities exhibit. And so the demonstrators are saying, look, you have to do more to save this generation and future generations. I mean, I was speaking to a doctor 2 days ago, and he said if a doctor administers a lethal injection by accident to a patient, that a patient might sue the hospital and the doctor for that act of negligence. Now, what appears to the doctor when he was speaking to me was that we are virtually injecting ourselves with a lethal dose of hard substances in our water bodies, mercury, cyanide, and all. And no one seems to be complaining. And that you go to the cardiothoracic center and you have only a few people who are suffering from liver problems, and we cannot deal with them. Can you imagine if the number increases by reason of our inability to control small-scale mining? Then this country will run aground because we will spend all our resources in trying to provide dialysis treatment for people suffering from cancer and other liver problems.
I need to ask you this question because it's absolutely important before I come back in studio. The president earlier on met a grouping that's leadership of organized labor. We understand that he asked for more time to work on the things he's doing to stem the tide when it comes to illegal mining. Step in the right direction because he also wants to avert a strike on the 10th.
No. The president is just buying time. He has 2 months to go, so he's buying time. Give him more time. What does he mean by that? We extend his tenure of office or what?
No. I mean, as in, he doesn't want them to go on strike on the 10th. He's asking for more time to be able to fix the problem on the ground, not extension of tenure of office, really.
Because really, the president has 2 months to go by the constitutional arrangements that we have. And if you ask for more time in these circumstances, what exactly are you asking for?
Because you have been minister there before, and you understand the difficulties in fighting Galamsey, is it not reasonable to expect the president has better information than the rest of us?
I understand the difficulties, but it is the actions that we want the president to take. That is the problem, and not the menace of the Galamsey. What actions are the president taking to ensure that he instills some confidence in us that he's doing something meaningful to tackle the menace? That is what we're looking for.
What do you expect of organized labor?
Pardon?
What do you expect of organized labor?
They go on demonstration. Because if you meet a president or the president pins you and asks for more time, you should be scratching your head to understand what the president means.
But what they are talking about is a strike, not demonstration anyway.
Well then, so a strike, a demonstration is a public manifestation of their displeasure on the way government is handling the Galamsey menace.
You expect them to proceed with the strike?
I expect them to proceed with the civil manifestation of their rejection of the way government has handled the Galamsey, or condemnation of the way government has handled the menace so far.
If they decide to give the president the benefit of the doubt?
Well, then we live with a sitting duck for 2 more months before he goes.
I am grateful to you for your time this evening. The Honorable Inus Afuseni is a former Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, and he joined us to let us appreciate what's happening with this land. Also, some thoughts on the presidency program. Honorable, we're having a conversation about what law gave us the power. And you just read the memorandum to the bill itself, or the objective for the bill, indicating that this is the first time we are opening up our forest for an incursion of such a sort. From what has happened over the last few years, which is 2022, so it's been a couple of years, was it worth it?
Well, I say the government has done its bit. You see, since 2017, there was a total ban, and we got the police and the military in to help ward off these illegal activities. That didn't work. Several approaches have been used. That led to the opening up of the forest areas and what have you through the LI. But I think on the other side too, why is it that we want to politicize this matter? Because clearly, if you look at the history behind Galamsey in this country, or illegal mining, or however you want to term it, there's been politicians across the political divide engaged in this kind of business, right? Maybe the turbidity levels of our waters was not at this level. Yeah. But clearly, you can tell that Galamsey has been with us from, like I said, centuries. And why all of a sudden has it become a political matter? Is it because we are barely a few months towards the elections and there's some kind of political point scoring out there, you know, by opponents, the NDC, and what have you? But clearly, we have to address the matter because we cannot allow our water bodies and our forest reserves to be destroyed in this manner. I mean, I was watching your sister station this morning where I was told that, where I discovered that the Brim and the Densu are two sister rivers. And, you know, how the water bodies have been devastated and causing a whole lot of water shortages around the West area and what have you.
That's true.
These are matters of national concern. It is bordering on national security concern. I was in Cape Coast over the weekend, and there was no water from Saturday evening till Sunday around midday when I left.
In fact, the warning in the central region and the western region is that 60% of the water they actually treat cannot be used.
Oh, no. What was brought to my bedroom, to my bathroom, is not something you can use.
Really?
Yes. As brown as, you know, as Lipton tea.
Wow.
Yes. So this is the kind of, situation we find ourselves. That's why I don't want this matter to be politicized. Because when you politicize it, then people hide behind political parties and then, you know, try and make it a political matter. This is a national crisis.
Okay.
Right? Which demands that the president straight away must set up. Well, the committee has been set up again. There was
ad hoc committee.
There was one, the Frimpong Boateng one.
Interministerial committee.
Interministerial one, and now there's the Kandapa one, right? We must take, I want to be careful. Well, I don't want the politicians to feel like, you know, we want to clamp down on, legal miners. Because there's people doing legal mining. They have acquired their licenses, they've gone through the process. We have to, you know, deal with them differently or separately. And there are people who are doing illegal mining, right? We must address that. And I mean, Raymond, there are three key stakeholders that cannot be left off the hook. Look, you walk into every community, right? The chief is there, or the paramount chief is there.
Yeah.
You come to my area, for example, we have Otumfo as the overlord there, right? And then when it comes to governance, we have DISEC, that's a district security committee. You at the higher level, we have, you know, RECSEC, right? The regional minister sits in, the mayors sit in, and what have you. And then you have Galamsey taking place in our communities. So what I'm trying to say that the certain heads must roll, because if a whole chief or a paramount chief can tell me that there's Galamsey taking place in his backyard without his knowledge and is failing to act, then questions will be asked. Then questions must be asked. If a whole regional minister can sit in a region and say that Galamsey is taking place in my backyard, I have no knowledge of it, then that person ought to answer serious questions. And I'm sure if the whip is not cracked, people heads don't roll, president doesn't sack certain appointees, you know, then we are going to have a graver problem, because we're going to transcend, you know, to December 7th. He's saying, what if MPP wins the December 7th elections? Well, then what Honorable Fusino was saying becomes moot. Because then we are going to be looking at
continuity.
Yes. Yeah. You understand? But we must nip it in the bud. We must create a situation where we make Galamsey unattractive. Right? The legal miners can do that, if they've gone through the process and acquired their licenses and they are doing everything legitimately, then that's fine. We shouldn't, harass them. But those, if you watch some of the clips, I was watching a clip, a young guy saying, "Oh, the president can come and arrest us. We are going to do Galamsey. We are going to destroy the water bodies in this country. We want to make serious money so that we can travel to America and leave this country destroyed." A clip. You can see the face of this person. Yeah. See, and why are we allowing this person?
Very brazen.
Yeah, I mean, why are we allowing such a young man to even entertain the thought of destroying the country and moving to live in America, as if America is paradise. You understand? And then you have a situation where I was watching a fairly elderly person saying, oh, he's been a cocoa farmer for over 3 or 4 decades of his life. He has been unable to build a house. Galamsey came about within a year or 2. He's acquired, he's amassed wealth to build a house. You know, it's like they're taking pride in what they are doing, regardless of what is happening. Look at the water. I watched Channel 1 documentary by Bernard Avle, I think a week or 2 ago, in Achim, right? The brazen, you know, attitude by these Galamseyers. What is the government doing? Because these things are before us, right? And we must prove to them that the president can act. Because he's been given all the powers to act. You understand? A certain signal must be sent. You understand? That, you know, we make Galamsey unattractive. Well, there was a total ban in 2017, thereabout. Then we had to find a way to get people back, because we're talking about 5 million Ghanaians, you know, involved in that enterprise.
Oh, okay. 5 million.
That's the figures I'm getting. Out of 33 million. So you just cannot say, no, we can't, you know, we are not going to allow you to mine. But you have to have a very responsible way of mining. You have to encourage it that people do it, but in a very responsible manner. And this whole thing about politicians also getting involved, as a matter of fact, politicians should not be getting involved in Galamsey, really and truly. Because we make the laws for these people to follow or to abide by. So if you are getting involved and there are conflict of interest here and there, then what does that leave us? You understand? And a situation where sometimes they want to draw in high-profile politicians and blame them for A, B, C, D must also stop. Must also stop.
But even so, you are from the Ashanti region. They are from regional chairmen and other things that have been fingered and have been complained about at various levels. In fact, the Media Coalition submitted a petition to the IGP and the CID for investigation and prosecution. But nothing has been done in that direction. I'm sure you have come across the Fourth Estate study, which shows that the politicians scramble to mine in forest reserves and mentions so many of them, some even in your region.
Well, it's unfortunate.
But this is a powerful region.
Very powerful region.
Huge votes from there, over 1.4 million of them.
Yes, but you see, sometimes these are mere allegations.
Okay.
Unless they're proven. Because we've all heard about Acquah mining.
Yeah.
My time on the committee proved to me that Acquah mining was doing illegal mining.
Legal or illegal?
Legal. They had all the paperwork and what have you.
But that's what the minister said.
Well, that is what came before us. Then the minister came and said otherwise.
Yeah.
But, you know, whether he's a regional chairman, he's a minister for lands, he's whoever he is, he's not above the laws of this country. And we should not be condoning illegality.
Because it comes from politicians.
Yes, we should not be condoning it. Then what is the business of some of us being in politics? If it's wrong, it's wrong. Whether it's MPP, NDC, president's nephew, president's cousin, president's appointee, minister, if it's wrong, it's wrong. We are talking about Ghana. Without Ghana, there won't be any political party.
True.
Without Ghana, the nationhood Ghana or state Ghana, there will not be MPP or NDC. People should bear that in mind. I mean, why we continue to sometimes gloss over these matters because it's A doing it or it's A being, it's not here or there. I don't want to sit here and apportion any blame. But if anybody, if I were a regional chairman, you're a constituency chairman, you are a national chairman, you are a general secretary of MPP, and you are involved in this, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself. Yes, if this is what politics is about, it's about amassing wealth and going and destroying a whole country because of, you know, a few millions or whatever that you can get. I believe our lives are more important than that. When you make millions and you end up in a hospital, or you end up in a wheelchair, or you end up, you know, in an IC, whatever. Is there anything to feel proud about? You see, so you must be careful. I don't want to sit here and mention names. That's why I said we must depoliticize the Galamsey business.
That's true.
If anybody is doing it, whether it's John Mahama doing it, whether it's Akufo-Addo doing it, whether it's Abu Jinapor doing it, whether it's Idrissa Fusedi doing it, whether it's Azoka doing it, whether it's Wuntumi doing it, or Intim doing it, or it's wrong. So long as it's not, if it's legal, and they've done the paperwork and what they are doing, then it's fine.
Okay.
Nobody can fault them for that because they are Ghanaians and they have every right to work. But if it's illegal and they are destroying our forest reserves and water bodies, especially mining the water bodies, then it's wrong because these water bodies are the same source of water, drinking water.
That's true.
Right? We use this water to clean our teeth, to bath, to do what have you. So by destroying these water bodies, these are serious matters. And we shouldn't be toying with it and saying that somebody is doing it, so it's okay. It's not okay. But I don't want to sit here and believe that the names you've mentioned here are engaged in illegal mining. Then I think there was also a point about political will accountability.
Yes, I'll come to that particular point because generally the view is that if you, the politicians, you are up to the task of making sure that the power we have given you to crack the whip, ensure rule of law, we'll not be having this conversation.
I've just told you. I mean, no matter what anybody thinks, the fact of the matter is that we must not allow Galamsey to destroy our politics. We came into politics to develop our nation, right? If you want to make money here and there, there's nothing wrong with it, right? But make legitimate money.
Okay.
You understand? Don't think that by destroying a water body like the Pra River, I hear Japan Mesa talking about the Pra River anytime he flies into Takoradi, anytime he's flying back to Accra. Mm-hmm. It's an eyesore.
If you see from those pictures.
Yes, no, from the area view, it's an eyesore. These are the matters we're talking about. But nobody is saying that if I acquire a legitimate license and mine and make additional money here and there, it's wrong. Nobody is saying that. But it's the illegality that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's the illegality that we want to address. So for people to say, I know this regional minister doing it, I know this regional chairman doing it, it's neither here nor there. If you know them, report them. Let the law take its course. Except
that in the case of the media coalition, when they reported to the IGP, when they reported to the CID, they complained today, and I'm talking about Kenaxibe and Co., that there's very little action that has happened.
Well, that's also very unfortunate. That's also very unfortunate, but you see,
it looks like you have insulated yourselves.
Well,
you have the power to act, and yet you are not cracking the whip. And so people are taking a cue that, well, if others are doing it, why can't we also do it?
Well, like I said, you see, there are laws, and the laws must be applied in such a way that we the political class, gain a degree of respectability among the masses. Sometimes a lot of news fly about in this country, and I'm not too sure which one to believe and which one not to believe.
Okay, of course. I mean, some are mere allegations without basis.
Yes, but sometimes there's concrete proof that any appointee of Akufo-Addo is involved in Galamsey, then really the whip must be cracked. The whip must be cracked, yes, to ensure that it doesn't bring any embarrassment or shame onto the administration.
But can there
And the president said some time back that he was going to put his presidency on the line.
Yeah.
He meant that if there was anybody doing Galamsey, that was going to create problems for his administration. He was ready to, get rid of that person. So I'm sure, but sometimes, national security reports will come before you and you know that they were just, mentioning Raymond Acquah's name. He has no idea what is going on, or probably it's not him but if there's concrete proof, because you see, you become a laughing stock when you set up committees, and these committees don't have teeth to bite.
Yeah.
From Paul Boate committee ran for so many, a year or two.
And he complained.
Fair enough. Now we have the Kandapa one.
Yeah.
Right? If a bystander looks at a situation where two committees have been set up under the 2 terms of President Akufo-Addo, but has not yielded any fruit, obviously you become a laughing stock. Because all we do is set up committees. If you know the national security apparatus is there, the regional security apparatus is there, the district security apparatus. If you know that people doing the illegal mining, if they are party people, if they are political opponents, let's walk in there and get them arrested and make them face the law. this party will be better served in government than in opposition because of a few corrupt or illegal positions of certain employees. We're not going to condone it. I'm an MPP person. I'm not going to sit here and condone an illegality, something that I've not been part of. Why should I come in and support it or defend it?
Do people accost you and say, what are you?
Nobody can accost me because nobody, I'm not interested.
They don't say you have any concerns in it?
No.
I've not heard your name come up anywhere, though.
You just cannot. I'm a public servant. I came into politics to serve my nation.
I get your point.
And I'm not saying that I should go home poor. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But I come into politics and I want to be a politician of integrity and credibility.
But how many of your 275 colleagues
I can only speak for myself.
Even in the Ashanti region? I
can only speak for
when
myself.
When you draw a log of the Ashanti MPs, how many can say the same thing?
I said I can only speak for myself. That's why I'm Eugene Boachientri.
Yeah.
I speak for myself. But I came into politics to make Ghana a better place.
Except that the likes of you are not telling your colleagues there.
Everything that has driven me from day one, coming from England to Ghana to do politics, has been to build a better Ghana, one.
Yeah.
Because like I told you earlier, if there's no Ghana, there will be no MPP, there will be no NDC.
There won't be politics.
If there's any civil disturbance in this country or a coup d'etat, may God forbid, Parliament shuts down, Supreme Court shuts down, we lose our job.
Yeah, it's true.
You understand? So if you want to continue to be in employment of the Ghanaian people, there are certain things you mustn't do. And you see, by and large, our people are losing faith with the political class.
True.
Through such allegations or sometimes say unfounded allegations. But what are we doing about it as politicians? We are failing to see that this menace gradually will consume this country. Look at the holes. These holes are supposed to be reclaimed.
Yeah.
They are not doing it. The same documentary that I watched the documentary about 2 weeks ago. The same situation is taking place in the Eastern region.
That's true.
Within that Acquah enclave. And I expect Ochehene to act because these are on national television to act like Utufo sat in Malaysia and destooled 5 chiefs for getting involved in Galamsey. We want to see leadership. We want to see leadership because these people are rather destroying our environment. And I know that there are certain chiefs who are great environmentalists, and they are touting their credentials every minute. We cannot watch our country, our forest cover, our water bodies degrade to these kind of levels. It's mind-boggling, it's frightening. And nobody should sit in the comfort of his home and think that, oh, my government my party is in power today, so I can do Galamsey. Tomorrow your party will not be in power. And another person will say, today my party is in power, I also want to do Galamsey. By the time we realize there will be no land, there will be no forest cover, there will be no water bodies for us. And what is that going to create? Are we going to import water to drink? Are we going to import water to bath?
They say that's what you politicians are doing. They're importing water to drink. You are drinking cake.
I don't import water. I buy the normal water that you buy.
Yeah.
You see, but for the time being, yes. But Raymond, this is no joke. It's a matter that we all have to, we have to depolitize it because you see, when we depolitize, we can all speak freely about it. But once it becomes a MPP and DC matter, then people say, I don't want to, be caught up in a crossfire. The next minute, they're coming after me, or the next minute I'm going to lose my position here or there. The fact of the matter is that if there is any appointee under President Akufo-Addo who is engaging in Galamsey, the person ought to be ashamed of themselves, and the person must not be in the position that he occupies. Whether you are a party person or you are a direct appointee of the president, you are not helping our party. Excuse me. Excuse me. You are not helping our party. We are going into a very crucial election. We want to win that election. And Ghanaians must be able to determine that our lot, the MPP lot, is different from the others. If you can't live by this, then there's no point you describe yourself as an MPP, because you are not. That is not the MPP way.
But, Honorable, I thought that is the same message that's been sent around, that when you fight Galamsey, MPP people will be offended. When they are offended, they will not vote.
No, you see, we shouldn't be talking about when you fight Galamsey, MPP people will not vote. Well, we don't know that all these people out there, because no MPP person will do anything to the detriment of the party's success, or will create an intolerable damage, you know, for the party's electoral fortune. Nobody is going to do that. What we must all avert our minds to is that we are going to a crucial election. This Galamsey thing has become an albatross around the necks of the government.
Yeah.
All these protesters are out there making it feel that it's only MPP people engage in Galamsey. When really and truly, the 5 million cannot all be
just one political party.
Yes, of course. There are others. But because we are in government, yes, because we are in government, unfortunately, you know, the word out there is that, oh, it's MPP, is this family, is that family, is this chairman, is that minister. We must stop it. We must think about the fortunes of our party, you know, leading up to December. We must all ensure that we stay away from illegal mining. If any of you watching me is involved in illegal mining, it's only going to cost the party this election, and we'll regret for not stepping back if you are involved in it and you don't step back.
So it's not true that when you fight it, the party will be the loser?
No, but the party is fighting it. The president, I think in 2017, there was a total ban.
Yes.
Then there was there was a way to regulate it for people to be able to, because you see, we are looking at source of employment. There are people out there who don't have jobs. And like if you look at the history of Galamsey, gather them and sell. It's always been with us, but responsibly. So I believe what the president did at the time was, you know what, let's create an enabling environment for people to mine responsibly. But you know Ghana.
I remember they said they had reformed the sector, trained people, giving proper licenses to those who deserve to be in that category of small scale so that they will do proper mining.
Yes.
I remember when they lifted the ban.
So the idea is that we cannot say law all the time, or Ella. We have to balance that with social cohesion. You understand? People, we don't want to create armed robbers out there. Absolutely. We don't want to create unemployed youth out there. We want to create a situation where if there's a means of employment, let's support it. But I think it has overed us, you know, the way things have gone. You understand? We have created the environment for people to go and mine responsibly and legally, but people have also gone through the back door and are doing the illegal stuff. Yeah. And that is what is worrying. It's worrying that water bodies and the forest reserves, these are serious matters that must be curtailed. You see?
I need to ask you this question. Organized labor made this demand, an immediate declaration of a state of emergency in line with the provisions of 1992 Constitution, 31 and 34. Now, what they also said is the declaration must incorporate the following: an order to halt all forms of mining, and they say legal or illegal, in forest reserves and around water bodies.
Yes, I've told you. I think
you support it?
No. Yes, I support it, but you know, with a caveat. I think in 2017, there about 2018, there was this policy approach that we should register and regulate small-scale mining.
That's true.
We shouldn't mine 500. You should mine at least 500 meters away
from the water bodies.
These are things that we can enforce, and these are things that.
But then what happened?
Sorry.
Then what happened?
You see, in trying to enforce it, sometimes people take their eyes off the ball.
Okay.
And then people will also try and
abuse it.
Of course. I mean, that's human nature.
Yeah.
You know, because they came here 2 weeks ago, they're not coming back, we can continue to mine, let's mine. And I mean, it's problematic. You see, I think it's a catch-22 situation. It's a situation where, in one vein, you want to create employment for these people to go out there and be able to, you know, make ends meet. In another vein, somebody is also trying to look at the loopholes and trying to
exploit it. But is that not the reason why they are mining inspectors in districts? They are also district chief executives. They are district commanders of police. They are. I mean, we have at the national level a replication of the security structure at the district level.
But I think I said all this, Raymond. I said all this respectfully that, I mean, if heads don't roll, then it's problematic. The MMDCs are appointed by the president. It's only the president that can get rid of them. The regional ministers are appointed by the president. It's only the president that can get rid of them. In terms of the police and the other security agencies, yes, the president also appoints the heads.
Yeah.
So the president also has a say in that. So what we are saying is, let's look at where the issues are. Because you see, why is the illegal mining of the Galamsey business, going on just down the south?
Yeah, the picture is quite clear.
Yeah, just down the south, right? All the other areas, you don't see illegal mining. It's just that when you look at the map, or the pictures that we are seeing, it's just down the map. And
it's a predominantly southern Ghana problem.
Why? Why? So these are matters that ought to, engage our minds.
And again, it's not even as if every single DCE is not taking action and not preventing anything from happening.
Before Hajia Halima Mahama, former MP for Naregu, Gambaga,
and the minister, local government and rural development.
Before she left for a post in America, I'm sure when she was a minister, she said something to the effect that they have a list of all the MMDCs that are engaged in Galamsey.
Wow.
So it's not like we don't know, we know.
Okay.
You understand? It's not like... So
it should be easy to get rid of them then?
Absolutely, because see, there are three key stakeholders, I told you. The political stakeholders, that's the regional minister, right, and the MMDCs, right? That's regional minister, one stakeholder, MMDCs, another category of stakeholder, and the chief, all the paramount chief. You understand? Because places like Asante Mampong, that's Sibre or Sebonsu. He says he's not going to take Galamsey in this area, and there's no Galamsey, and he has his people right solidly behind him. Yeah. You understand? So it means it can be done.
But he also has all of these other officers there. So if Chief said
it cannot be done, and how many police commanders can challenge the authority of a paramount chief in Ashanti region?
That's also true.
Because, it. So once they say they won't allow it, they won't allow it. So the areas where, I think 2-4 said it at the program in tech.
Yeah.
That we know them. We cannot pretend we don't know them. We know the people doing the illegal mining. Right? Because if you're a chief in your area, and you say that somebody has come into your home, engaged in a business and you don't know about it, then are you really fit to be a chief? Well, obviously, somebody will come and inform you. Yes, somebody will come and say, oh, you've seen some people doing Galamsey across the road. And as a chief, what do? You go and investigate. So we know that these three key stakeholders, in addition to the president and the minister for lands and natural resources, so we are looking at 5 stakeholders. Yeah. The president is minister for lands
and natural resources,
the regional minister, and the MMDC. These are the political stakeholders, and then the chief or the paramount chief in certain situations. So, these matters can be nipped in the bud. Really and truly, if there's a genuine political will to deal with it, why not? Why are we worried about these things when it can be dealt with? We don't even have to get the police and the military involved at all. Because yes, we don't. Once there's evidence that these people are doing this ABCD, Raymond, I can assure you, any paramount chief within his jurisdiction in Ashanti region where I hail from can say, look, enough of this Galamsey, anybody caught will face the full consequences. They all pack and go.
So why are they not saying it?
But I think Otufu has started doing it. I'm sure in the beginning he probably left it to a paramount chief to do it. But when he was not seeing any results, he said, look, let me step in and do it. And he's stole so many chiefs. You've heard it. These things are alive.
It's true.
Yes,
we've seen the numbers.
Because we are engaging the Sabronum chiefs, about 3 of them. Yeah. Yes, there is Galamsey taking place in the area, blah, blah, blah. He stole them. Right? So all the other powerful chiefs in the country and kings in the country, they can do that. Right? It's just that we are pretending not to address the problem.
Or know where the problem is.
But we know that's the problem. We know where it is. It's just that we are pretending not to know that it's there.
The president met Labour. Labour has threatened strike. In any case, would you join the strike?
Well,
you're also a worker for the avoidance of doubt.
Yes, but you see, I don't believe in trying to threaten the executive anytime there's a problem. We all know there's a problem of this Galamsey menace. What steps has the labor movement taken before threatening with a strike?
They issued a statement that asked the president to do 3 things.
Issuing a statement alone is, you cannot issue a statement in a vacuum because the president is also there with the Minister for Labor.
Yeah.
So at least you must engage the Minister for Labor, who is a rep of the president.
That's true.
Right? For him to go back to the president and discuss with the president that these are your intended course of action. That did not happen. Then the next week, in 10 days, if this doesn't happen next day, we are going to lay down our two.
On the 11th, to the end of the month, yeah.
You don't threaten a president.
But is it not a desperate measure?
No, it's but
because of how desperate the situation is.
You can make an appeal to him, right, without giving him any deadlines. You see?
Well, they said they demanded immediate action from the president.
You can say to Mr. President, with all due respect, we've tried to get to you to discuss this matter. Please, we want a meeting with you within the next 10 days. That is a meeting. So that in that case, you set the tone for a meeting.
Okay.
So if the meeting doesn't take place, and then you can come and say, okay, after 10 days, we are going to advise ourselves. You understand? That is also a signal to the president that, okay, given the respect as the president of the Republic, we want to see him to discuss a particular matter, right? If the president says, okay, fine, you know what, let them come in tomorrow, let them come in on the 5th, I'll be here. Then the president can meet them. During that meeting, you can join Jojo, right? There are certain matters that the president can assure you that this matter, consider it done. I'll do A, B, C, D for you. So then there will be no point in the laying down of tools and what have you. But if you don't do that and you say 10 days, if you don't hear if the president doesn't do A, B, C, D, he's an executive president.
That's true.
You understand?
With a lot of power anyway.
So if you do that, then what would then inform his thinking is that you have not even met me for any discussion, but you are threatening me in trying to do my job.
But this morning they met the president. Do you think that
now that they've met the president, I can assure you that the strike won't come off.
Really?
You mark on the wall.
You are convinced?
Because of course, because the president will also listen to it.
I have not seen any action on the ground.
No. Yes, because they met the president this morning.
Yes, they make specific demands.
Yes, but the president, you see, the president also has to meet in cabinet and discuss this with the cabinet minister. They also have to advise him.
Today was cabinet.
Yes. But are you sure they attended cabinet? We don't know that for sure.
I don't know that for sure.
Maybe they met the president before cabinet.
That maybe.
So the president will probably take their demands into cabinet.
Okay.
For discussion. So let's wait and see. But I'm sure that now that there's a conversation going on, there will be no need for the strike.
Okay.
Action.
I get your point. Now, you also oppose the deployment of police and military.
In the mining areas.
Yes.
No, there's no need. Because what happened? What happened was that then all the allegation being banned around is that all the security agencies that were sent to this ended up doing the Galamsey themselves.
They ended up being part of the system.
That is the allegation.
Anyway, that's interesting.
Without prejudice.
Without prejudice, of course. Now, the question I'll be asking you finally, you in Parliament, you've also failed the people of this country.
Why?
Because you have not ensured that there is no illegal mining. You have not held ministers to account.
No, you see.
How many times have you hauled in ministers, regional or whatever?
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
If you're a member of, say, Kiko South, because of your name, I'll give you Kiko South. Or you want me to give you Takrade?
No. You can give me Jabi because that's where my family is from.
Oh, Jabi, okay. So from Jabi. We sit in the chamber together.
Yeah.
And I've been told that Raymond has a concession. Listen, I've been told, you have not told me, but I've been told because we come from the same region.
Yeah.
So I've been told that Raymond, he has a concession in the Amansia area.
That's true.
I come to you, I say, hey, Ray, what's happening? I've been told you have me?
No.
The first is you deny.
Yes, I'll deny.
No member of parliament will come unless you get a huge entry. Who will tell you that, yes, I have one? None of them will tell you that I have one.
That's true.
None of them. So that's the problem facing us. Right? But you have concrete evidence that Raymond has a site and is being mined in Amansia West. But you tell me, no.
You don't report them?
Sorry?
To the police, don't report them?
But you see, how do you report them when you don't have the because somebody can say, don't go and say it to Raymond is mining. So you just approach Raymond and here you are involved in Galamsey. They'll say no. Do you think if you call all these regional chairmen and staff and the regional ministers and say, oh, you have a site, they'll tell you you have a site?
Parliament's coming up, will you take it down?
That what?
Illegal money, will you take it down?
Oh, well, why not?
Honorable, this is the beginning.
Why not? Because our water bodies are being destroyed. Our forest cover is being destroyed. And like I said, without Ghana, there will be no political party.
there will be no ministers, there will be no MP. You guys have had a head of state, like the Free Fairs and the Kutu Champons and the Rollinses.
Yeah, that's
yes, so we need a Ghana as a whole. We need our social cohesion. We need to respect our laws. We need to do what is right by the people. For us to continue, as the politicians and the political class, for us to continue doing what we are doing, because this is our form of employment.
Since you're not going into the next Parliament, I'll call you back for an exit interview. But thank you so much, Honorable Eugene Boachentwi, Member of Parliament for Subin, and until recently, he was sitting on the Forestry Committee in Parliament, the committee that did the things with the LI 2462. But
no, that committee was in the first term.
That's the first term.
I wasn't on that committee.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of UPFront.